Hello, and welcome back to the Ark of E podcast. My name is Noah, and I am joined this evening by my cousin, Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard,
Hello, everybody.
and shortly, my brother, Mr. Gavin Blanchard, and possibly some other members of the Ark of E crew. We'll see who decides to jump aboard the ship this evening. Uh, in the meantime, I guess all we're really here to do is what we've been watching. From what I've gathered off mic, everybody's in various places on the pit. I think you, me, and Gav are the only people that stay like consistent week to week for the most part.
Okay.
But like Barham is saving it for a binge. I think he's at least dipped into season two, but not much. And I think Brendan was still like a week or two behind last we spoke. So I guess we'll see if either of us have been to the theater or in your case the library. Also, on my end, finally went to my nearest public library, got a card, checked out their limited but fairly impressive Blu-ray and DVD collection. But mainly I wanted to get that so I could then go home and sign up for Canopy, which I believe I've referenced on here, which I was turned on to by our good friend Mr. Sunshine Mayfield, who, congratulations. I don't know if we've said it on mic. The baby is here. The baby is happy and healthy, and he'll probably join us on a pod in a month or two, but they're in new parent mode, so that is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so congrats to them. And yeah, back to the library though. He had tipped me off about the whole Canopy thing, which is basically if you have a public library card and you can register it online, you can sign up for Canopy for free, which is essentially a streaming service where it's ticket based. So I think based on whatever your local library gets allocated through Canopy is what you have as your monthly ticket allotment. And
Okay.
so like a movie will depending on length, I'm guessing. I'm wondering because I did watch a short on there directed by Charlie Kaufman that was like exclusive to Canopy last year, and I don't know that that cost as much as a full length movie. I'd have to look, but yeah, so it's ticket based, and basically you get a number of tickets per month, and you can use it on whatever. But pretty robust library and a decent amount of like, oh, that's kind of hard to find. Not as much as I'd like, to be honest, but I mean, it is free if you have a library card, and it's an excuse to get you into your public library if you haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have not actually, other than the Charlie Kaufman short I referenced, which is called How to Shoot a Ghost, which stars Jesse Buckley, who's about to win an Oscar in a couple evenings. We're coming up on Oscar weekend. Uh, I've been wanting to sign up for Canopy to see this movie called Memoria with Tilda Swinton from a couple years ago that famously had a touring release where it never went wide. It was a like you had to catch it. And they
Right.
just toured it like throughout the US and the world. But it's like if you missed these screenings, it was very hard to see for a long time. And then like Canopy had it for a minute. But apparently I missed that window. And it is on Mubi, but only in certain territories. So I guess if you know how to work like VPN magic on your computer or your device, you can see it that way. But as of yet, unseen by me. But
Okay.
have you made any trips to the library? Any ventures in
I
physical media?
I have. I didn't this weekend because I had to work a nursing anesthetist conference and then an alumni event afterwards on the day that I go. Luckily, I got to drop mine off the day before because it was the bad movie night on campus in the planetarium. So I got to see a Kerstinker and drop my movies off.
Okay,
I won trivia. The first time I've outright won trivia. I've come in second
congratulations.
twice over the last 15 months. I've placed second twice and won once. So I'm full fifth going on there. But and I watched. It was a TV movie from a horror movie from 1972 that we watched called Gargoyles, which had the FX makeup work of a young Stan Winston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any star of the day that we might know?
Uh, Bernie Casey
Okay, I
was
at
the
least I
lead
know that
gargoyle.
name. Okay,
Uh, Scott Glenn was very young. Scott Glenn was in it as a motorcycle gang member
very cool.
slash young hero.
Random side note, I just discovered recently that they have rebooted Man on Fire yet a third time.
Okay.
Or I guess the second time they're rebooting it. But yeah, with Yahya Abdul-Mateen
Okay.
as Creasy.
One of them to join us for a fun-filled.
I,
If you're
I
gonna
will
be on, you're
definitely.
gonna need to turn off the background music there, bud. Hello, Brendan.
Nobody has background music on.
There's television.
But
Oh, is it the three of us? This is what I wanted. Are we recording already?
yeah, one of the movies
Yes,
that I
we are.
watched uh, was a movie that I probably should have watched when the hype was hyping in 2008 when I was 33 because it was really rough to handle at 50.
Okay.
It was a French
2008,
movie.
2000. Okay. Horror
Blumhouse
film?
remade it and said it's the biggest mistake he has ever made. Completely ruined it. Uh, it's Martyrs.
I forgot that they remade Martyrs. Like that seems like an exercise in futility. I never watched that. I assumed it bombed here.
It
Uh
did.
yeah, is that your first exposure to like the French extreme movement outside of maybe like high tension or
It's I watched High Tension, and when I watched High Tension, I thought that I was watching Martyrs, so I was like, this is not what I remember reading about this. And then I watched Martyrs, and I was like, okay, this isn't like what I remember. I know there was a twist, and like, but this isn't nearly as bad as everything that I read was.
right?
And then the flop happened, and I was like, yeah, um, I feel sick.
Yeah, that was a one and doneer. I respected the game, so to speak. I thought it was effective. Um and definitely had more to say, quote unquote, than your average horror movie.
Yeah,
But yeah, nothing I've ever felt compelled to revisit, and remaking it seems baffling to me.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, I just watched. I was just like, and Jason Blum has said like he totally it ruins like he's like it shouldn't we should not have done this. We should not have done this. This was a career mistake I made. I apologize. Some of the other ones that I went on this the Femme Nikita Point of No Return double feature
okay,
because I had not watched either in 30 odd years.
I've got.
And I was watching Point of No Return. And I'm like, yeah, I like this. I like this. No, I don't like this.
I only remember that movie mainly from watching it on cable. I don't even know if I could piece it together. But I'm sitting here, I'm looking at, I have a La Femme Nikita, Run Lola Run, split.
Mm. Oh,
What's up, Ev?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
but that was exciting. Particularly seeing a young Michael Rappaport is the opening one of the opening thugs in Point of No Return. Realizing in 1993 that I didn't know who he was back then.
And today maybe wish you didn't know who he was to begin with.
Well, yeah, like but I
There was
feel
a
like he's one of
time.
those people
There
who have
was a
lost
time.
their way.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, there was.
Uh,
And
I did
especially when you look back at some of those early performances and stuff, you're
yes.
like, this doesn't,
Uh, I
these
did a
things don't match.
I did a Texas Rangers for the Beak,
For sure.
which I also hadn't seen since I rented it in
Salute to the
'01.
beak. Um, is that Colin Farrell too? Or no, that's American Outlaws.
That's American Outlaws. That
Okay.
was the one because American Outlaws, like almost made money against its budget and was in the theaters for longer than a weekend.
Which one has Scott Kahn?
American Outlaws.
Okay. I think that's
Texas
why I
Rangers.
conflate them because you got the Varsity Blues crossover and they're all cross-pollinating, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. All right. It, just to spread the wealth, since we got some other guys in the room
Yep.
now. Welcome, Brendan and Evan. We're just doing a general like what we've been watching lately. The only thing that's off the table right now is Scream 7, Brendan, because we are waiting for Gab to get here since he's seen it. We let multiple people weigh in. But anything else you've caught recently you'd like to talk about? And or Evan?
I
Uh,
saw it was just an accident recently.
Nice. We got Oscar weekend ahead of us. Are you is that the only international feature you've seen of the nominees? We caught any other
No,
ones yet?
I saw Sentimental Value.
Where are you at on Secret Agent?
And that is my like probably my next in line. I think the next time I have like a free evening, I'm gonna watch The Secret Agent. Um,
It is on Hulu for anybody who is interested and has Hulu. If you want to watch it.
I thought it was just an accident. Was excellent, but a Sentimental Value obviously is I think just blows it out of the water. Personally, that
I prefer it was just an accident. I think they're both excellent. I do, even though The Secret Agent obviously and Seminole Value both being up for Best Picture, I think makes kind of it either one of their game for international. And Seminole Value has a lot of other nominations, but I'm like there is a world I think where ev- the two logical favorites maybe cancel each other out, and it was just an accident. Actually, ends up sneaking up there and takes it. I was kind of surprised that that one wasn't up for Best Picture, and or uh, Panahi for director, but you know,
hey, listen, I told you guys that parlay was a lock. The Strait of Hormuz is currently closed. Just- but only kidding. But but it really is close. Um,
we're aware.
but
We're
yeah, but
we're aware.
but yeah. I mean, I thought that was excellent. I caught I finally finished Mr. Scorsese. If ever, I'm sure. No, you saw that doc, didn't you?
Yes, the Apple TV doc.
Thought that was excellent. So if anyone's into,
I saw the first episode. It was really good. I think the first episode is when they go through, and they might do it in multiple. But Gangs of New York was in the first one, right?
it's I think that's in the
That would be
second or
like that
third
would be
one.
in the fourth and final episode. Yeah,
Was it? Then
yeah.
I was watching it with Chip, and so I thought we were talking about the Gangs in New York, and that was
Yeah,
the episode
no.
that I
It go
saw.
it goes pretty much chronologically, and that's my kind of one and only frustration with it is like it's got everybody there. It's got a great long form interview with him, but I do feel like the last like 25 years of his career is basically yada yada because it's condensed down to
That
one
was my
episode.
only
It's 1
complaint.
hour. Yeah, I was like basically I wish the whole doc was like twice its length overall, and I'm like, why the fuck not? I'm sure they have the material like
I
time
mean, he
wise,
definitely has
interview
the life.
wise, it's just a lot more, a lot more editing and shit that would have to
Do,
I
go
would
into it, obviously.
I would
you
love,
know,
and maybe there's ones in the making that you know of, Noah, but it would be quite interesting to see one on James Cameron and half of his life being lived at sea, and then the other half just being like,
Oh,
you know,
there's plenty of docs, and obviously he's made a couple underwater docs. There was the uh Into the Abyss, maybe, or
hmm
I forget what
no,
the title of
I
this
guess I
was.
just mean one that's following his life, like his
Oh, I
lifestyle,
mean, well,
his
that's what I'm saying. Those kind of are in parallel to like, what he's documenting. It is also just kind of like this is what he's into.
this is him.
But yeah, and there
Sure.
are a lot of behind the scenes docs and
I,
stuff.
I
But
what prompted me to watch the documentary was I finally saw After Hours, and I
hmm
was like, and it was late at night. I was like on just a long crappy layover, couldn't sleep, and it was I was like in the right place to watch that movie, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. That is a classic case of I watched it way too early. Like I
Uh huh.
saw it as like a 14 or 15-year-old. And you definitely need to see that movie after you've had a
Older.
few, like, desperate nights as a single
Like
young
that. Yeah,
man,
you have to have a
essentially. Yeah.
few evenings like that
Uh,
under your belt.
and yes, but a classic now. Picked up the Criterion 4K of that last year, and it's a great disc, great transfer. Huge, huge
Because
recommend if you've never seen After Hours. I think it's also streaming on Max for anybody who wants to check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
maybe Prime or yeah, Max or Prime. Yeah, like I said, I just saw that recently. It was but it's just such a like somehow it pulls you in on the vibe, and it just takes you for the ride, and you're like okay with it. You're like, this is completely absurd, but I'm gonna go with this. Yeah,
Oh,
One of the great up all night movies, and also of course, shout out to Catherine O'Hara, who we had our in memoriam for a couple weeks back. It's a little small
she's
role
funny in
for
that.
her in
She's great.
there. Everybody's fantastic in that.
saw
Brendan, do you want to? Oh,
saw The
okay.
Bride.
I was gonna say, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk to these guys about The Bride?
Yeah,
Uh,
have
Maggie
y'all seen it? Are you
Gyllenhaal's The
gonna see
Bride.
it?
No,
I'm planning on seeing it. I was going to see it last weekend, but I had the Virginia Association of Nurse Anesthetists
Uh,
conference to work.
yeah.
So
But then I mean, I don't know if there's really much on the spoiler alert, but I'll
We we
refrain.
I don't feel like you can go because I feel like in very many ways the trailer spoils it because it's a modern movie.
yes.
With the
Basically
highlights, like
everything's there, and how do I
I'm
want to
gonna
talk
go.
about it? The
I'll go
second
with the
that
highlights. Jesse Buckley crushes it. I felt, and the way that it is shot is like actually like very aesthetically pleasing. I think it's beautifully shot. Those are the two highlights.
I
sounds like
mean,
that was not your favorite.
yeah, Brennan and I were right there. And again, I went in having heard like people are really divided on this. It's kind of a love it or hate it thing. And I was like, it's one of those cases where I was like, I like everybody involved in this at
Oh,
pretty
dude.
much every level. Like a lot of people I, really respect, I would normally watch in any other circumstances, all coming together to make a thing that like on paper sounds really interesting that I would be like totally down with. And somewhere in the execution, man, it didn't work. It did
It
not
was
work for me. The second and third act are just
yeah.
a complete mess.
It was pretty aimless.
It was one
Like
of those where we came out and I almost like I kind of rewrote a better movie in my head. And obviously, like it is the thing it wants to be, but I don't like we can talk more in depth after you've seen it. But
I think that it was trying to be too much in my opinion. It was trying to push a point or an agenda, which I was fine with that, but I think along the way it definitely didn't like bring it home. First act is like it sets the stage and it's beautifully shot. I think it was actually very interesting. Like you and I said, that opening scene was actually a lot of fun. But by the time it gets to the second act, you're like, all right, I think we're getting a little off here. Like maybe they'll bring it back full circle. And by the third act, you're just like it really feels like they didn't know where to go with it. You can
uh
just
but I really want to talk to you after you've seen it. And I still think it's worth checking out because it's a sounds mean, an interesting failure in my mind, but I do not think it is successful, even in
Okay.
what it is trying to do. I've seen a lot of like defenders of the movie too, and people who are like totally on board with it. And I would love to be one of those people, but I did
I
not,
yeah,
find it
man.
Christian Bale's kind of
I did
stuck
not
right
care
now in
for it.
like a series of movies that have just kind of like not panned out. Even though I thought Pale Blue Eye was okay.
I see perfect example of like he's been in a lot of stuff recently that I haven't, you know, that I didn't see that. I didn't see Amsterdam. Um,
well,
It was
I
just
feel that's the story
okay.
of Christian Bale's entire career. It's either he's on a string where you're like, yeah, that's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
That's the kid that
That's
Steven Spielberg picked out
that's
of
my
yeah,
guy.
obscurity, man.
that's one of the best actors of his generation. Yeah,
And then
and
not.
you know, I
It's like
never
he just
I never
swings.
think he's bad, but this was one of those cases where I was like, he just felt a little lost at sea with like what to do with the performance as a
Just
counterbalance to what Jesse Buckley's
yeah.
doing. And it just, yeah, man, I don't know. It was messy, and I think it has a lot of screenplay issues, and it's a little overstuffed and a little aimless in the third act. And I literally like it's sitting right there, like the better movie, and I genuinely thought it was headed that way, and it just completely, to me, just kind of shits the bed in the third
And
act.
it's
But
and it's definitely not because it was rushed, because the damn movie kept getting pushed back.
Oh,
nine,
Patrick. I mean, when you
nine,
watch it too,
90 mil, $90 million movie.
it was kind of a by one point, as Noah would say, it was a slog. And in this slog, Christian Bale is heavily outshined by Jesse Buckley, um, in the performance she gives in a not great movie.
I feel like I've been hearing about this movie for 2 years.
Yeah, it feels like it was, should have been a fall release last year.
It was supposed to be a fall release last year.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It does, part of it does, Brennan and I talked about this. I was like, I don't, presumably she had Final Cut. I don't know, but it is a big studio movie. And there was a part of me where it was like, as much as towards the tail end of it, it was one of those where it's like, this is a little interminable. Like it's a bad place to be in a movie with like 20 minutes to go where you're just like, I really need them to wrap it up. I need them to wrap it up right now.
I started falling
That,
asleep during
yeah,
it.
yeah. That being said, I think there's maybe a version of this movie that's 2.5 hours long that is maybe more coherent in like kind of landing the plane on some of its bigger ideas, or has a little more connective tissue for some of the places it wants to go.
Okay.
It's that sort of thing too, where I'm like, it's simultaneously a little too long in the current state, but also not long enough where I'm like, I feel like there's stuff on the cutting room floor, stuff that she maybe did have to trim or might have been. It at the same time, it doesn't feel like a movie with a lot of studio notes because it feels pretty bold in some aspects, but
Okay.
yeah, interesting movie to talk about, but I need you to lay your eyes on it before we go more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Uh,
been I've been looking forward to it since I heard it announced, because like, I'm like, oh, Maggie gets direct. I'm cool with that. Let me see what it does with. Oh,
oh yeah, and the first trailer, and I don't know if you saw The Lost Daughter from like 2 years ago on
mm-mm.
Netflix. It was oh my gosh, Olivia Colman as the lead.
Okay,
I pretty much all watch in anything regardless, but um, very different stylistically and just visually than this. So I think she's a totally capable director. I just don't know that like all of it cohered. Uh what else? What else? What else? I just finished um I don't know what if and when Gab's gonna join us or not. I just finished In Search of Darkness part 5 or 6, but
okay.
95 through 99, the back half of the 90s horror. About 5 hours long. It's finally up on Shudder. It was what you expect from these at this point. It was a good time. Uh, Decent amount of Carpenter in this one as a talking head, and obviously they got plenty of 90s Carpenter to cover. That was fun. And a good bit of like truly completely unseen by me. And also those handful of like, oh, I know that VHS cover, but I've never actually seen any footage from that movie. So that was a good time. Uh, yeah, other than that, I think just rewatches outside of the big one, which hopefully, if Gab doesn't show soon, we'll just start talking about it whenever Brendan hops back in. But obviously, we got to chat, unfortunately, about Scream 7 at some point.
I mean,
Ev, have you seen anything? Oh, I do have another one, but
okay.
I'm not gonna hog the mic. Ev, have you seen anything else recently that you've caught up on?
Yeah, yeah, my algorithm is on most of my streaming services has kind of reached, it's just like right in the pinnacle of like what I want right now. And it's like late 80s through like the mid 90s of like crime thrillers, and dude, it has been a great time recently. Anytime I throw something on, I just watched At Close Range, which
Nice.
I don't think I'd seen before. And young Sean Penn is just freaking awesome. But Christopher Walken, it's just amazing in that movie. I mean, it was just such a good. And then you seeing all those young faces, like seeing Kiefer Sutherland just kind of as like a background friend in the movie, and then you got Chris Penn in there. You got um, what's his face? He always plays like he's at River's Edge. He's playing the really weird guy who wants to protect the friend.
Is
God,
it
what's his
Crispin
name?
Glover or Daniel Roebuck?
Crispin Glover. Thank you, Crispin Glover. I mean, just being weird. Dude, it was great. I mean, it was. Like I said, my algorithm is like right in the spot right now, where I want it to be.
Have you
It's
have you
recommending
gotten
nothing but stuff like that.
to Live and Die in LA yet?
I downloaded. I haven't watched it yet. It's like on my device right now. It's like one of
Okay.
my next things I'm gonna watch.
That's just
Can't
one that
wait.
I see has finally like cycled back through streaming and people are like rediscovering again. And fuck yeah, man. One of the best of the 80s. One
That
of the
was
best
one of my
freakout's.
library picks in February,
Oh yeah. I
and
need
like
to.
I'd never seen it.
Oh, period. That was one of my great joys in the history of this podcast was a 2x2 retro review where I introduced Gavin to that movie.
Mm.
And I was like, this is the most Gavin ass movie ever. And he had never seen it. And it just like, yeah, it was 2 hours of us just like, this fucking rules. Just talk, just geeking out over it. What an awesome movie. I would do a
I
re-review of
saw
that once everybody revisits it.
Okay.
They're doing
I
it on
saw Relay.
rewatchables this coming
Yeah, from
week, by the way.
I watched Fargo recently. I haven't listened to the rewatchables, but yeah, I watched Fargo recently, and yeah, this CR month has been good so far. Sicario, of course.
That's
Isaiah's a
what I was gonna
personal
say.
favorite of mine as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was holding off because I was like, I need to do a Sicario rewatch, but I can listen to the Fargo episode because I've seen that movie a billion times. Probably rewatched it within the last 6 months. I did rewatch Hail Caesar last night for the first time in forever because it's back on Prime. That was the first time I've watched it since it released, and I feel like I did not give it its proper due the first go round. That was definitely a valuable rewatch.
Still need to check that one.
Really, really good. Very
Did
funny.
did you catch a Relay last year
Relay.
on Netflix?
I don't think so. What's Relay?
It's with Riz Ahmed. Riz Ahmed is a basically his he creates his own job for himself where he helps whistleblowers try to extract money from the companies that they're blowing the whistle on, and also keep them safe at the same time.
Hmm.
And like people working for whatever pharmaceutical companies or stuff, things like that. And it was like a straight to streaming deal, but it's actually pretty good. I mean, I think the actress in it who is the whistleblower for this particular thing that he's doing is she's from Star Wars. What's her name? The new Star Wars trilogy. Um,
Oh, Lily
I forget
James.
that.
Lily James is the yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's in Star Wars, right?
I don't think so, but she's Cinderella, and she was in Baby Driver. She's in Mamma
Oh,
Mia.
maybe
Here
that's
we
okay.
go again. Um, you might be confusing her with Felicity Jones from Rogue One,
She,
maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
She
I think
totally
so.
splits the difference
She
between Felicity Jones and Daisy Ridley. Like she exists in the sweet spot
that's
between
okay.
those
So that's
two.
why to me she
Yeah,
looked like Daisy Ridley. She looked like Daisy Ridley. I didn't check the cast list, but yeah,
word relay.
I
Okay.
thought that like I thought for a direct to streaming, I enjoyed it quite a lot. So
Oh, okay. Directed by David Mackenzie, who did Hell or High Water and Starred Up. Anybody remembers those?
worth a watch for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love Riz Ahmed. So
He's
ever since the night of, I'm like,
he's got a bunch of stuff coming out. that Hamnet adaptation that they're doing, and something called Bait on Prime. Oh, did you see the trailer
I
for
wish he did
season two
more.
of Beef on
Oh
Netflix?
no,
Uh, yeah, dude. Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan. I forget. Oh my God, I forget who else is in there.
dude,
But yeah, cast is pretty sick.
that's enough. That's all I need to
Yeah,
know.
that's really all you
Those
need to
two, and
know.
then
But oh, Song Kang Ho from Parasite, the dad from Parasite. Um, you know,
oh yeah.
and oh my gosh, I can't remember who else is in it. But yes, it looks really good. Actually, very excited for that. I never got your rating on Industry now that it's wrapped.
Well, I
Did you get
watched
to
the
the
final
finale? Yeah.
episode like 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, I was, as usual, with most TV shows, the penultimate episode is usually the climax, and kind of feels like sometimes that the season could have ended there. But um, I was fully okay just to see what else was going on with the characters for one more episode, even though it was kind of a throwaway episode, I thought, in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, it
But
definitely reset the table by the end of it as compared to where we kind of left the previous episode. But just as far as
I don't know.
where they leave Yaz and all of that. But yeah.
I was probably like, I didn't see what yours was. I've been off Instagram for like a month, but
Oh, I didn't post because I was waiting for you so we could have a double read. You told me you hit me up
oh,
after the
cool. Yeah.
finale, so I was just waiting until you saw the finale.
I would say, and it's tough because I was like, the whole season, I was like, all right, I love Industry. I'm probably sitting at like a 9, but after the last episode, I'm like an 8.75, 8.5 to 8.75 probably on this last season. I don't know where were you?
About the same, honestly. Uh, yeah, not quite the tippity top heights of the third season, but still still definitely down for the fifth and final. Totally holding out hope for like it just goes out. If it goes out in a Succession season four kind of way, where it's just like really kind of bold, a big bold choice like early on, and we go somewhere that is unexpected. Uh, I could be down. But yeah, but yeah, still a very compelling season of television. I'm still very excited to watch it week to week. I think everything, honestly, is paling in comparison to the pit, though. Watching the pit week to week for 15 weeks kind of just makes everything else feel like, oh, this is good, but it's not the pit. It's not the pit.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
I still need to do Night of the Seven Kingdoms too. I know you guys have
Well,
all
that's
seen
an
that. I haven't
exception.
checked it.
And honestly, that stretch where we had the pit, Industry, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and Primal, which ends next week, all airing like clustered together. That was HBO just absolutely just crushing it, man. Just absolutely
Just
destroying it.
dominating it.
So good. Just so good. So much good television already this year. And
And
it's only
topped off
March.
with Netflix not buying them. So
Yeah. Uh yeah. We'll see how
I think
all
ultimately that'll be good for movies, right?
what would
Good
be
for
good for
movies. Not sure how it's good for
what
media.
would be good for movies is if nobody buys them and we just stop consolidating all these fucking studios and stop putting all the IP under like one roof and like yeah.
But I mean, at least we'll see some things in theaters, is what I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
versus almost no things in theaters.
Or things in theaters for 17 days only.
Yeah.
Well,
Good.
yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, that's also true.
Well, I mean, that was their plan. They were going to limit the big Warner Brothers Studios release to it was either it was just under 3 weeks, so they wouldn't have to pay the next kick out.
I just want
Like,
to point out that
Oh
like
wow,
Fire and Ash was like just reliably making like $5 million like every weekend
yeah,
for like the last several weeks. Like and just like true old school 90s sort of run where it's like, yeah, it's been playing for several months, and guess what? People are still just going to see it quietly. Several thousands of people a week,
printing money.
you know, and it's just Everybody was so worried about it. I just remember, and I'm like, yeah, guess what? It does have legs because it was a true theatrical experience, and they kept it in the theater, and there's nothing else in the big 3D large format theaters. So it's like, yeah, it continued to make money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's the main thing is like if they just let stuff breathe and theatrical, like, dude, not everybody can get out the opening weekend. I when we started investing so much in like what's the opening weekend number and pre-sales and like all this other shit, it's like, dude, you can make everybody aware of it. They can know the thing is happening. And still I run into like the quote unquote average person on the street, they don't know when shit's coming out. They don't. Like they have to hear about it from somebody
Right.
or they just decide to go to the movies and then they like see what's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard this was out. Maybe it's out this weekend. Um, but yeah, it's just
Stuff catches on in the
you
back end
gotta
too.
yeah,
Like,
you gotta let stuff breathe and let stuff be, word of mouth, man.
well, there was a time. I mean, there was a time when stuff would chill, and then like the blockbusters and the Sycamore videos of the world, where they would have almost an even better run on the back half, and then they start playing on TNT or TBS or whatever, USA or whatever the hell,
Yeah.
and then they kind of get a second life.
I think there could be a world where slowly but surely some like mom and pop start to crop up that are more old school video style of people who are just kind of like done with streaming, done with wanting to pay for like, all these different services. And they're like, you know what? Let me just go to a spot and like have a limited number of choices. And that'll be like so refreshing to just make my decisions that way. Maybe that one.
Because the problem is stuff gets buried so quickly because there's so much content that, I mean, good luck sifting through it. You just got to hope your algorithm just has you pegged, and
Yeah.
then
The
that's
number
kind
of
of your only.
Well, yeah, the number of times that like I'm aware of A, B, or C coming out on a streaming platform because of all the podcasts I listen to or like other articles or something else I've read. And then like the day it's out, I go on said service and it's not served to me. And I'm like, if you don't know that like I'm a person who wants to see this, like why is this not the first thing I see on my page? And anytime I have to go like actively search, I'm just like, what the hell? I'm doing all the work here. You're supposed like, what's the point in having all this if you're not gonna serve it up to me? But stuff gets buried constantly. I think we're boring
Be,
Brendan, apparently.
be,
Bro, look
sorry,
like he was in a
because we
car. He
don't
might be
have
driving.
because we don't have a place like Patrick does. I really wish there was like a selection feature on all these that like, hey, this is let's trademark this idea, but if you could just like set the brackets on whatever service you're on to like the year the movie came out, and just like, hey, I want to do 1985 to 1995, and I want it to, you know what I mean? Because right, you can do, oh, I want crime thrillers, or I just want thrillers in general, or
Hmm.
horror or something like that. But you can't set the year range. And if
Yeah.
you could do that, that would be I'd be in love with that.
That's like such a simple feature too, like that I don't know why they don't implement. And I'm sure if you're on Netflix, like maybe on a web browser, there is like a way to actually do filter tabs or whatever. But yeah, the fact that it's not just like, hey, search by year. I
Instead, here's our top 10 garbage of the week.
Yeah,
Did anybody see War Machine?
did not
No.
I wanted to
tell
give
us
that a
about it.
look. See,
Oh, okay, you
just in
haven't seen
case.
it yet. Gotcha. That's
No, no.
that's Reacher, right? Alan
Yeah.
Richardson.
Yes. Yeah. Alan Richardson. Yeah. I
Word.
wanted to give that a look. Just in case. I didn't look and see any reviews, but it's been chilling at number one for a while. I thought maybe it might be a good direct to streaming action movie, but
Is that on the Netflix?
yeah, it's on Netflix.
I
I
need
haven't Netflixed much since
post Stranger
the end of
Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah. I
Stranger
in
Things.
fact
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think I am locked out of Netflix because I think my mom finally logged back in to be able to watch Stranger Things. So I have not been on Netflix in quite some time. Uh, the only other new one for me in the theater, which kind of saved me from a little like not not great run because you could probably tell from the earlier tone, did not care for Scream 7. Went right off of that into The Secret Agent, which I liked but didn't love. I was really excited for, but didn't couldn't fully get on its wavelength. The Bride as well, and I actually saw that. It was basically a triple feature that day. I finished The Secret Agent in the morning after watching the first like 45 minutes to an hour the previous night. Went to The Bride with Brendan midday, and then that evening I was like, I need this to work out for me, and thank God it did. But I finally got to see Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which I'd been waiting
Nice.
for quite some time, and it was very funny, and it it warmed my heart, and it was a great time. And it's exact. I was like, dude, I've been on a rough streak at home and in the theater, and that got me out of the funk, thankfully. Uh,
Has have you not seen Hamnet yet? Has anyone seen Hamnet? That's like the next thing for me, probably.
yes, I saw Hamnet in theater several months back, and I did not care for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to see it though, since
I
it's in
mean,
awards contention for.
Brendan said he was going to watch it too. I don't know if he has because I've never heard from him about it. Maybe when he hops back on, we can ask him. But I don't discourage anybody from watching Hamnet. I just I got I got my issues with it, and but yes, I did. I saw it in a theater. Me and one couple sitting way far away from me. A very intimate screening at the Terrace, and yeah, I'm totally like I'm excited for her to win an Oscar. I love Jessie Buckley. She's great in pretty much everything. Uh, but yeah, I didn't care for it, but not my
Enough
cup of
said.
English breakfast tea. Yeah, but by all means, you may feel differently. I mean, Mayfield, 10 out of 10, one of his favorite movies of the year. So don't let me discourage you.
I keep finding that I align my tastes have been aligning. I don't know, with Mayfield. Every time I see his review of a movie, I'm like, dude, I felt the same way. It's
Dude, I
like,
mean, that's
but
why
who
I'm
knows?
saying
Maybe
you
I
should give
will.
it a shot. Brendan, can you hear me? Brendan?
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Brendan, you're
Your
muted.
mouth is moving, but you're muted.
Yeah, I know I'm muted, but I can't
Okay.
stop it dinging for a second. So,
Okay.
Are you good? No, no, the dinging is fine. Did you watch Hamnet? You said you were gonna watch Hamnet.
I ended up watching something else. That is a TV show, and it's good. It's good. I like it. It's getting a little chaotic. It's getting a lot chaotic. I told you about it on my birthday. Now it's starting to get to be too much. But anyways, I started watching Tell Me Lies. Told you about that. Season one.
What's that?
It's on Hulu. Basically follows like 6 or 7 friends that are new in college and all the secrets that they hold from each other. Um, season one was like
Oh, okay, sorry. What the fuck is up with the beeping? What's going on with the beeping?
I tried to tell you it'll go off in a second here. Um,
There's
so
pancake syrup in it, Brendan.
so yeah. Anyways, season one's like super actually relatable to like what college kind of is like your first year. I think that's probably why season one is good. But then by season two, especially midway through season two, it becomes like okay, like sure this could happen, but it would be like the most toxic friend group you've ever been a part of. And then by the end of like season two, and now in the season three, because there's only 3 seasons, which I do like. I
Can
like that
can
it's
can you give people the setup and framework of the show? So they know what it's about.
so. Tell Me Lies follows 7 essentially kids in college, particularly three freshmen, and then how they end up getting intertwined with these juniors, essentially, and how they end up all kind of becoming incestual in a sense. And they end up all committing their own fallacies that they try to hide from each other, but everybody knows. And then there's a couple people that hold it over each other's heads, and so it becomes this web of just
Is there
lies.
is there not a present day element to it? Is there not a
Yeah, so
framing device?
you go back and forth. So it spends the majority of the time while they were in college, and then it comes back to present day, and they're at two of the friends' weddings, and so you end up getting the backstory to the wedding that they're at, and that's where they spend most of the time.
Do you know who's getting married?
I do, yes. I mean, you find out episode one, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, you find out episode one, so I mean, it starts off
I didn't
at the
know if it
wedding.
was like a how I Met Your Mother. We're trying to see who ends up with who, but we don't
No,
know.
no,
Okay.
I actually kind of like the way that they do it. They open it up at the wedding, and then they go back to college, and then they'll go back to another part of the wedding or the ceremony leading up to the wedding, and then they go back to college. And as things are unfolding in the wedding, they kind of take you back in time to explain more, like why there's some issue that's going on at the wedding.
Gotcha.
So,
Um,
um, it's
we're
good.
we're about we're like close to an hour in. I'm gonna go ahead and call it and say, let's talk Scream 7, guys. We might as well. Gab can give his 2 cents if he gets on. Uh, I'm gonna let the eldest and longest running Scream fan in the room uh take the floor.
This
Patrick, what happened?
uh I'm gonna say this is the only time I've ever come out of a Scream movie and I didn't know what to feel. Except disappointment. And a weird because I was entertained. But the film was the movie that Scream makes fun of.
Yeah. Yes.
All
Yes.
across the board. Behind the scenes, it had $500,000 in rewrites spent. I mean, money on rewrites like that's 90s money. Like,
To get to this as an end result,
yeah.
that's disgusting.
Uh, I described it to Matthew because we got out of it, and then like we were in the parking lot for like an hour after the movie, just trying to figure out. He's like, it's a great Nev Campbell, Sidney Prescott performance. Like, it's grade A. It's unfortunately in the movie that it's in.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't
unfortunately,
fit
it's
the
trapped
tone.
in the dumbest, like least Scream-like movie in the
Yes.
franchise. Those are my primary things
Worst
that
reveal.
immediately leapt to mind as I was just like, yes, terrible reveal, but also a pure product of casting at this point. As soon as they showed me said character, as soon as they introduced that person, I was like,
Yeah.
that's definitely one of our assumedly multiple killers.
Yes.
Uh, just right off the bat. So all the no good red herrings. This is spoiled in the trailers, so I don't feel like it's like a huge thing to bring up. As much as I was like, oh, great to bring Matthew Lillard back into this. I dig this. You kind of know from the get-go, well, it can only be one thing. Like, we're not bringing this fucker back from the dead. We're just not doing it. So there's only one answer to this. It's the AI deepfake. Like to me, I knew that from Jump Street, basically. I was like,
Yeah.
I know that's where this is going. So again, all of the playing around with that to build up to something we already know. But what that does is it removes all of the fun phone shit.
Yes.
There's no phone. There's no there's no voice. There's none of that. There's no fun interplay. And again, that leads me to my third point. The movie is not fun. The to me, the one thing you absolutely must do in a Scream film, it has to be fun. It has to be a fun ride. And this movie is not fun at all. Like
Oh,
See, I
joyless,
would disagree with that. Like
joyless. For me personally, joyless.
I think it's joyless because of what we talked about. I do think that we're such fans of the series that this just wasn't a Scream movie. That was the first thing that you and I said when we got out. This wasn't a Scream movie.
it's a
Like
technically proficient slasher.
the deaths were like more
Te
Final Destination types of deaths than they were like.
technically might be sorry to cut you off, Brendan. Technically might be being generous. That's my other big issue with this is like Kevin Williamson either focus more on the script or focus more on directing. But bifurcating yourself, you personally, love you, bud. You can't do both.
And
I
stop
personally think that both suffered by him
and don't
splitting
rip off
duties.
Wes Craven's shot for shot.
Well, it again, a pale imitation, and so much of it felt very uncinematic, felt very TV to me. A
Yeah,
lot of like Brendan, I didn't mean to cut you
go
off,
ahead.
but uh I had to jump in and talk shit about the technical aspect. Sorry.
Oh, dude, no. I mean, you're good. I mean, to your point of feeling very TV, everything was spelled out. There was no who got you. The girl from Pitch Perfect. You knew that she was going to be one of the killers, or I knew as soon as I saw her. I was like, no,
Too
she's going to
big
be
a
one of the
name.
killers.
You're just like, yeah, too
Yeah.
big a name, right?
And she's got the crazy look. she she got the crazy look. But everything from them being like, oh, there's always at least two killers. Okay, there's gonna be three killers because you've said it about 18 times now. Oh, I don't know. You got to shoot him in the head. You knew they were gonna shoot him in the head at the end. And I'm fine with the tropes, but at least like make the movie that's always been. There wasn't any phone play, you know. There wasn't any storytelling. They tried to do it at one point when they were in the bar for all of 2 seconds of like well, this is how they've done it in the past, and they want to, but it just didn't land like it has in the past. The killings were more Final Destination, like I said. Like Final Destination, they start playing around with how they're gonna kill you. Like when they did the beer scene, like they pointed it out. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. And then, like to your point, Noah, in a lot of the movies, they'll try to do the thing where they're acting like they're gonna scare you, or he's gonna jump out, and he doesn't, you know. And then the scene goes on, or the movie goes on, and they don't really do a good job of that here. So it's just like this was this felt like a very rough draft of somebody trying to make a Scream movie that's never been part of a Scream movie.
Yes, that's I guess what I ultimately was just like, but it's Kevin Williamson. That was the thing I kept coming back to is like, you know, going into this huge question marks as far as like, okay, they pretty much started from scratch. That's another aspect. Okay, how it kind of integrates the previous timeline, if you will,
Yeah.
how it treats six, um, all of that clunkily, if not offensively handled in a lot of ways. But I do
Oh,
not feel like the twins being brought into this as much as I would like to have them. They don't they
They
don't
don't add
fit.
anything.
They don't
They don't
fit
add anything.
they don't
in
add anything.
Yeah,
this.
no,
However, like
agreed.
one of my literal favorite moments comes from Chad, though. Like I really don't want to get stabbed tonight.
That dude, seriously, he got fucked up in the last movie. That was brutal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Uh,
dad in this one got fucked up. How do these people? It's the Dewey effect, dude. You can't die.
Yeah.
there was the one of the things that makes a Scream movie, even in what was previously my bottom of the barrel three, you you came and you dealt with the new characters. They felt like they were important, that they weren't just
Parker
throwaway
Posey.
kills.
Exactly. Like comes into the fold. Timothy Oliphant comes into the fold. It's like, yes, they're legit. Whereas, yeah,
No, I think
everybody here, I
that's a
was just
fair
kind of
point.
like,
Nope, you didn't
who are
care.
these people?
Yeah.
Even in
You
four,
did.
which some people struggle with, but most hardcore fans will tell you is like, no, that that movie's a banger. It's great.
Yeah.
does a great job with all the supporting cast and like the again the red herrings of like I genuinely am like, is it Allison Brie? Is it Allison Brie? Oh no, it's definitely not Allison Brie. You know,
The
um,
the only character I genuinely actually cared about and wanted to live was Anna Camp's son. That was it.
Creepy kid.
Creepy kid. That was the only one I was hoping that I was like, you know what? I hope his ass makes it out. I kind of liked the girl whose parents owned the bar too. She was sweetheart, but
Uh,
they
I
were
did.
again so anonymous, so
I liked the
yeah.
anonymous.
McKenna Grace killing when she was on the fly system.
Oh,
Okay,
I did.
so
Yeah,
a
the opening scene was great. I thought the opening scene was fun.
well, I was gonna say, Patrick, like to your point there, I'm like, that's one of those where I'm like, the set piece itself, the concept, the setup, 100%. The actual staging and execution of it, to me, it's like if we were going for the tension of like you're swinging like a pendulum above this person who just has a knife and could just so easily, um, I didn't feel like it milked the tension of that. And then we just go into like splatter gore fest, which is also
But
is
that goes
Scream
to
and
my
isn't Scream, you
that goes
know?
to my technically proficient. It's technically proficient, lacking the full range of total color and emotion.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the scene with them trapped in the wall too.
I like that
the
one
scene
too.
with them trapped in the wall. I think the opening scene with the kid from Simi Valley was pretty good. That was fun.
It was all spoiled in the trailer though. Like
Yeah,
No,
literally
that's
that
fair.
because that
entire
was the
set
trailer.
piece was
That was
drained because of yeah.
no, that's
Uh,
fair.
Evan, we've
The
pretty much
last scene
spoiled
where
all
Anna
of it. I
Camp.
don't know if you were planning on seeing it, but you can skip Scream 7, bud. You can go see
for
something else in the theater.
The
me personally, there was the so many missed opportunities. Like there is a Chekhov's gun that does not go off that pissed me off. Specifically, there's a character named Tatum, and we see that garage door close four different
They didn't even
times.
fuck with the set with the garage door set piece.
Like
Hey,
I was expecting
I
a
didn't even
ghost
think
face
about
to
that,
not get
Patrick.
shot in the head, but to get smashed by a garage door
That would have
by
been
Tatum.
nice.
there is
That was
hardly any
And then shoot her in the head after the number of times I talked about that.
yeah.
yeah, of even those kind of fun meta nods. Like we did yeah, it felt like a lot of
I did.
unmined territory, which again, I feel like I don't know how what draft of the screenplay is, but I'm like I refuse to believe that this guy's like lost the touch. I'm just like I he wrote four, correct?
No, he wrote the outline for four,
The
and Aaron
outline for four.
Kruger came in much
And
like with three
and Kruger
and
had
wrote it.
worked on three. And
Yeah.
see, I okay. Maybe
And from what I understand, look, Kevin didn't solely write it. He wrote it off of a script that was developed from a story by the guys who did five and six,
okay.
who already had a working script for seven.
But
Uh,
presumably they're morphing it because you don't have Melissa and Jenna.
yeah,
So it's already this weird Frankenstein
yes.
to begin with.
And
Yes.
then like there was some talk whether he
Uh,
was going to get full credit or not based on how much he wrote, but then he did. Like like Kevin Williamson, the story of when he comes in to do a rewrite for the seventh movie in a franchise, where does he get the credit? A la H2O.
Patrick, I was telling Noah, I was like, dude, we need to get on the pod with Patrick because I'm very curious with his fandom, what he's going to think of the movie. So,
I was just so disappointed.
what did your
And
brother think? Because
oh,
somehow,
he was more disappointed than I was.
Yeah,
nice.
Matthew and I were uh on the
I at least
same
was
page.
more entertained than he was.
Because somehow, some way, Gavin must have done a pound of drugs or something. I don't know if we need to edit that out, but how the hell he came out of that with that high of a rating on this? I'm like, dude, what?
Dad
Like, I
brain, they don't go to the movies that often. I will say he hit me up afterwards and he said, "Hey, Becky said she's actually a soft seven, and I'm not allowed to pick to give numbers for her anymore. She's really mad. She wanted you to know that." So even Becky was like, "Hey, I didn't give it a fucking eight. I didn't give it an eight." So she wants that publicly known. Becky did
Uh,
not give
brother, I
Scream
mean,
7 an eight,
I will
but
concede.
Gavin
This is where
did.
I gave it the 5.5, 6. I gave it a 6. You know, because I was when I came out, I told him I was like I was in it. I had a good time, and whether it was because I was at the movies with my good buddy Noah or not, I have no idea. But I had a good time. I didn't hate the movie. I didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Same. That's what I said to you when we came out. I was like, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good,
It wasn't good.
but yeah, it wasn't a travesty. Like, I mean, look, I can be objective about it. The reason I'm so low on it is because I'm judging it against the standard
No,
of
that's
what
fair. I
is
think that's
one of
fair.
my favorite franchises. And
Yeah.
this is not only a low point, this is like a decidedly
No,
low
100%.
point.
I think Nev
Um,
Campbell does a good job. I did enjoy her acting. I enjoy her being a back. You
I
know.
think again, unfortunately, all of it is compromised by narrative and story decisions that have been essentially forced because of an absolutely atrocious decision on the part of the studio in the first place to fire Melissa Barrera for
Yeah.
literally stating facts. So I don't like, and
I will
again,
say,
I think if that same all of that plays out 9 months down the road, it's a different conversation. And no, I don't think they would dare to like do that publicly and have it happen in the way they did. But
Yeah.
like, I, it was a bummer last go round where I as a fan was like, dude, I had a good time with six, but it is for me the bottom of the barrel by default because to me the Scream franchise is Sidney Prescott first and foremost. I've always said that like that's that's what has made this unique is the continuation of a character across all of these movies. Not, oh, they disappeared for a little bit and they came back, a la Jamie Lee. Just like the consistency of that character, long form. I was like, that's the one unique thing you have going here.
dude,
So
I
when they broke it, it pissed me off. But I was still like, but still, I had a great time with that movie. It's like all of its allusions are to two, which is my personal favorite of the franchise. So of course I was like tailor made a little bit, but if I was ranking them by default, it went to the bottom because of that. And the idea that like, okay, all of this happens behind the scenes, but not really very publicly. And then they do decide to actually pay her money because now their hand has been forced essentially where they're like, what else were they going to do? They couldn't hard reboot again, but
Yeah.
it forces all of it story wise into this like weird mishmash of trying to reconcile the last two movies, but also move it back to like, but it's Sydney's story now, but it's like, but we kind of put that on hold. And now we're spending half of our time kind of re-justifying why we did that while trying to progress a new story with her and her daughter, who we're just now introducing you for the first time on screen, which seems like something that could have happened in either of these prior two films. Even in a minor capacity, we could
Yeah.
have seeded that a little bit better.
And then
sure.
there's just so much. It's like Sydney, Sydney. Why are you having such a bad time with this? You had no problem doing everything that you were supposed to do with your daughter. I understand she's wasn't exist on paper back then, but in the world she did. You had no problem doing this for Jill, your niece, who also didn't exist originally. Like that
They
role.
they don't really bring that into this one either. They kind of
Yeah.
never really reference four, but it's like, oh yeah, you remember the time when
Dude,
my
that's a fair
crazy
point.
fucking niece
I didn't
decided
even
to
think
just
about
start
that.
start doing this shit
Yeah.
because she was jealous of my celebrity. That was the other thing about the reveal to me is it kind of just, you know, there was really not much to it, but it felt kind of akin to four in some ways, but also very,
Yeah.
very muddy, where I was like, I don't know what you're saying with this. At least four was interesting and
Mm.
also something we hadn't seen before.
And then
Like,
Matthew and I there was a moment where just because of knowing some of the history of what people wanted to do with the franchise way back when, there was a moment where like, oh, if we've suffered through everything and they pull this specific trigger right now, I forgive everything. Like we were waiting for Gail to kill Sydney. Like
Yeah.
when she said, "No, I lied. I do trust someone else." And in that moment where finally Gail becomes Ghostface, ends her because everything that she has suffered has been because of Sydney. It's motivation, sets up the next movie so that the twins and Tatum spend a cross country trek trying to find Gail. Like I was like in the span of 2 seconds, that whole thing, I saw the future. I'm like, yes,
You
finally,
just,
finally,
yeah.
and no,
That's not a
Yeah.
bad play there, Patrick. I'd be sad, but at
I
the
think
same
that
time,
I think that would have been cool.
you
But
know,
yeah, I mean,
I'll
is
tell
there
you this
what
because
honestly, when you
to
were
your point,
watching
like
this, sorry, go ahead, Brendan.
I was just gonna say, like when we watch this in the fall, because it's like the one for me series when the fall rolls around, I watch this one through Infinite, right? Whatever, wherever we're at, right? I'll just watch them.
yeah,
I I will skip seven now. I mean, there's no reason, right? Like it's still gonna be 1 through 6.
yeah,
But like to your point, had that been the ending that set up quote unquote 8, you couldn't skip 7. You would
no,
have to watch it, right?
yes,
And I think that that would be a good setup I don't want to say disheartening, sad as it may be, because I think Nev Campbell crushes it, and she is, like Noah likes to say, the franchise that could reinvigorate a couple movies for
yeah.
sure.
Like
You
we
know,
were hoping, we were like, and afterwards like, oh, what a wasted opportunity. I've also
well,
seen
it
some
was a missed
reaction
opportunity.
videos where people are like pissed because like Kevin doesn't even reference his own sequel.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he's like, so Tatum was the last friend that she trusted. Tatum was the last friend.
Right.
Not Haley
Not
who went
Allie.
with her
Who,
in
yeah,
the car.
yeah, lest we forget. Who
Or they
also
could
is the
bring
original
everybody back.
one of the original killers in that movie, right?
Yeah,
In the first incarnation.
yeah. But it was
Uh
just
There's going to be an 8. All right, here's a question, Patrick. Are you going to go to the theaters to see 8?
I will. I am in this franchise until there is no franchise.
Or
I will be there opening day just so I can bitch about it.
yeah, that's fair. I think I was telling Noah, I was like, no, I'll give 8 one more. I'll give 8 one more in theaters. But if 8's like this, then I think it's going to start becoming a streaming movie versus a I'm going to the theater to see it.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm there. This is the reason why I watch horror movies, and it might be the reason why I stop. I don't know.
Well, that was
Oh my
Scream
God, we got two
7.
Evans.
If wait, what's happening?
I don't know. He's connected twice.
Ev, can you hear us? This-
This used to happen when I would monitor classes, and I'd have to kick one of the students out, and I always kick the wrong one
Jeez.
out, and that's the frozen
Do
frame.
I click out the mic or do I kick out the what's happening?
And then sometimes one was working, and I just let them both
Oh,
stay in.
now they swapped.
Yeah, but we still don't have a picture.
Oh,
Oh, we got a
now we got
picture.
a picture. Maybe there's some lag. I don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us? Can you unmute? Ask to unmute.
I don't know. One is unmuted. The one that has the picture is unmuted. The one that doesn't have the picture is muted.
He's trying to tell us something. Hold on. Hold on. Do I,
See,
what do I do with this guy? Oh, oh,
that
oh.
one kicked. This would be my answer. My final answer whenever this would happen in classes that I monitor would be like, you need to contact the help desk because that is what they are there for.
Okay. Well, it seemed like he was gesturing like he might be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Any other final thoughts on Scream 7? If Gav does get on in the next like 10 to 15 minutes, we can let him speak his mind. But
Oh,
I think we all agree. And we know Gavin's a generous rater, but come on, man. And I think
this
he
is
would tell you that's on a Scream scale where he's like, well, dude, all the others are 9s and 10s. This one's not as good as those, so it's an 8.
Oh, we
Like,
see, my that's my problem. See, it got to 5.5 because it's technically proficient as a slasher with some plot holes.
Yes,
But it's a
slightly
slasher,
above
so they forgive
average.
plot
Exactly,
holes.
5.5. That makes sense.
But as a Scream movie, I'm like, this shit's a 3, man.
Yeah, it's just terrible when compared to arguably
Yeah, yeah. I
the
mean,
best
I
slasher
like
franchise of all time.
Yeah.
if that were a solo movie that we had never seen before, and I went with Noah, and let's say it was the fall, and I'm just paying the most opportunistic, hey, this was a good movie scene scenario.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, give me the fall, give me my buddy. We're going to see a slasher, quote unquote. Never seen a Scream movie before. I would have been like, oh, that was fun. I wouldn't have been like, yo, that was great. I wouldn't have said, hey, you need to run to go see it. I would
Yeah.
have been like, that was fun. You give the context of the series though, and you're like, no, that fell flat. That
Yeah.
fell flat for sure.
Exactly. I just, yeah, it is not what I wanted for my 30th anniversary of my damn favorite franchise.
what
I've I've been
if they're
following
like,
these damn movies for 30 years.
what if they're like surprise editor's cut, and you see the new editor's cut, and Gail stabs Sydney in the head?
I would be so happy. I would be like, yes, finally. Somebody's listened to me finally.
This was the real cut.
Because I was just like this.
No, I
It's
mean, I
the
think
sorry. It's the first time that it felt like a cash grab for me. Even though I know others have been cash grabs because a Scream movie, except for 4, is a license to print money.
Yeah, I mean, just the entire way it was marketed, the whole like bet on
what does
who
it
the
cost and what does
killer's
it
gonna
generate?
be on Polymarket and like all of that shit and the like all basically giving away entire set pieces, giving away the whole. Here's the thing. If they had managed to not spoil the whole Matthew Lillard angle,
Yeah.
I genuinely think I'd be rating this movie like much higher if I
Yes.
went in cold, but knowing that's what we were getting, and then very quickly realizing like, all right, I know what this is going to be revealed to be.
Noah
I
was like, he
I was
goes,
just mad, man.
he
I
was
was
like, as soon as the guy popped on the screen, I knew who the killer was, and I was like, and he was like, can't hardly wait, dude.
like, yeah, dude, as soon as
Let's
Ethan Embry
go.
like popped on screen, I was like, dude, 1000% he's gonna be in the finale here. Like, you don't bring in that type of 90s star if he's not the like I kind of like here's the thing.
You had to be like in a camp with the
Six
other one.
was still well executed enough that I'm sitting there going like, yo, it's definitely Dermot Mulroney, right? Like it's definitely Dermot Mulroney. But they did just enough twists and turns and red herrings that I was like, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. They had me just
Maybe it's
questioning myself enough before it inevitably was, in fact, Dermot Mulroney and his kids.
yeah.
Uh, but it's like I couldn't even get to that place with Ethan Embry. As soon as they showed him to me, I was like, dude, the
This is one of the
haircut.
killers.
He works at a mental institution. This is definitely
Dude,
one of the guys.
the haircut
Like
gave
this
it
is
away, dude.
definitely one of the guys.
The haircut gave it away for sure.
Yeah. I
He's
think they
also
thought they
the only
were
one. He's the only one who's like, no, man, he was here. Like, boom. Like
He-
everybody else has these questions. Da 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 da. No, boom. That's John Doe.
yeah.
Lays out the story. I'm like, huh. Okay.
I was like, well, you definitely didn't hire him for one scene as the attendant. I'm like, yeah, I know Ethan Embry's not Ethan Embry anymore, but like, guys, I know his currency in a Scream film, and I know it's more than one scene, so you pretty much just spoiled your movie for me instantly. I was just like, great to have him here. But even if he was positioned as a different character, if it was her husband, say, instead of Joel McHale, like I'm like, it's Ethan Embry. Like, yeah, sure. Like, not necessarily on my radar as Killer Man, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Oh.
All right, we're done talking shit since, especially since Evan hasn't seen it. Let him be
Is
able to
Evan
see
even
it.
here anymore? Can he hear us?
I think he can hear us. We can see him. He's just muted. He is unmuted now.
Evan.
He's
Yeah,
Oh,
speaking.
super
dude,
low.
yeah.
He's speaking, but the volume is very low.
Yeah.
This would be like that
I don't know
movie.
if you could
That
turn up your volume, bud. I don't
This would be
know.
that like scene in Scream when we try to talk to each other and Ghostface is behind one of us and you can't hear him.
The lag is like kind of scary. Like it is a little disturbing
Yes.
the way it's blurring and like the sound is kind of coming in and out here and there.
It's like, yo, Ghostface is behind you.
Yeah, Brennan, did you ever watch? Did you ever watch? Oh,
Uh,
Oh, you
I
sound like a
kind of,
robot.
but try talking again.
I'm gonna stop introducing you guys.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's like robotic and pixely and very low. I don't know what's going on, dude. We love you. We love you. Thanks for checking in. Stay safe. Yeah,
good luck. Stay safe. Don't die.
yeah. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. No. Uh
Patrick, what did you think of that? Did you go see that?
I didn't. I meant
Mm.
to.
oh, can we? Sorry,
Yeah.
not to interrupt. Well, mentioned this off mic, and I just wanted to make a little time for it. Because I sent you the trailer for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma,
Yeah.
the forthcoming Jane Schoenbrunn follow-up to I Saw the TV Glow. Comes out in a couple months.
Oh, really?
And Patrick has finally seen uh, I
I
Saw the
did.
TV Glow.
Yeah.
And
What'd you think?
I liked it until I didn't.
okay,
Okay.
I figured this might be the case. When did it lose you?
Uh, way towards the end, when every moment, like, oh no, no, Justice Smith he's really the character from the TV, and then a hard no, he's not, and then yes, he is. I'm like, fucking one way or the other, or ambiguous. Don't lead and then say no and then bring it back.
Okay, okay,
That's my problem.
okay. Um, not something I got hung up on necessarily. But okay. Other than that, though, the vibes, the
The
performances.
vibes, the performance, I was digging it. I was digging the fact that I'm clued in on the fact that there's this weird Twilight Zone uh uh what are those urban creepy pasta thing going on
Creepypasta.
here,
Yeah.
that he is her, and I'm cool with that, and he doesn't know yet, and he's gonna sort this out, and then I'm like, oh, this is great,
Dude, I might need to go
and
back and watch this, dude. Your explanation of this is maybe something that I missed.
Well, that's
like
why I'm saying, like, again, not something that I got hung up on in as much as far as their relationship to the show and the characters within the show. I think all of that is thrown into question and the nature of nostalgia and how we perceive things from our childhood, et cetera. All of that's
That's
in there
fair.
amongst a lot of other things. When you get to like hey, they put it on Netflix, basically, I started rewatching it and it's completely different in their mind's eye than how they experience. And so to me, what I latched onto is like, regardless, however they experienced the show at that time, was a way of them accessing this side of themselves and this realization that like this is, their true self, who they'd like to be.
yeah,
And then the
No, that I
progression
gathered.
of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think all of that's there. As far as like a one-to-one, like they were the person in the show, I never took that as like even being on the table because I still looked at the show as like just metaphorical for
That's
all
how
of
I
it.
took it.
see,
I
I went
know.
I went the other way, which I've seen online. I'm not the only one who feels this way.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you either,
No,
and
yeah,
I also
I
don't
don't
think it's
disagree with
I
you at
also
all.
don't think it's a movie. I mean, particularly with its ending, which I think can be read a myriad of different ways, because I have watched it in a myriad of different ways where there's times where I felt gutted by that ending. There's times where I felt really hopeful
Oh my
because of that
gosh,
ending.
dude.
There's other times where I
The
was kind
only
of just
way to take that
mystified by
ending, I
it.
think, the only way to take the
I
ending
don't think
is,
there's an only way, but go
oh
ahead.
my gosh,
Finish the
I was
statement.
just sad, gutted, defeated. Like I wanted to hold him. I wanted her. I wanted to be there to like support. I felt just gutted. Gutted is the best way to put it. I don't know if I watched it again if I still wouldn't. That was probably one of the more and I didn't love the movie, but I enjoyed the ride. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
but that ending, when he's uh, in the bathroom and then having the meltdown and everything, I just like that was one of the sadder moments in a movie that I've seen in a while. It was sad. I was just sad, man.
But
I
see,
don't
the
know.
like the first time I watched it, I think I was taking something completely different from it in that they look and like I've heard people talk about like it, it's static essentially, like when they cut into themselves. But I was taking it in the moment as like that's the nostalgic heart, so to speak, or whatever, of like the youthful dreams or like that you can still get that's still inside you, that core of like what you wanted to be, et cetera, is still there. I was like, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, they have this moment of like, hey, even though contextually in that moment we're what, like 30 years into the future, they've quote unquote wasted their life, and it feels like, oh, there is no like starting anew or whatever, but they have this moment of like, but maybe I could. Um, but then yes, I've also watched it and been like, it's devastating because all they have is TV static on the inside. There's no
That's how I
there
took it.
because
And
they've
even if,
hollowed themselves out because they weren't living, truthfully the whole
yeah,
time. Yeah. I th
that's
again,
how
I
I
think
took
there's
it.
so many different ways you can read it.
And then I thought about your play on like, hey, there's still this opportunity, and albeit there is, right? But to me, even that would still be sad because you're saying he's now 40 something years old. He's only got X amount of time left to live his truth, which, sure, that's better than the alternative. But there's so much time that was lost and spent feeling lost.
Well, and I think that's ultimately what the movie is trying to get at is like, hey, don't wait, essentially. But also for
Yeah,
people that do feel like they have, um, you know,
you can still
there's
do
still
it.
time. It's both simultaneously.
Both, sure.
Um,
Give me 2 minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Y'all keep going.
we're but yeah, all of that taken into account, and you mentioned the creepypasta aspect. I probably mentioned, did you ever do We're All Going to the World's Fair?
I haven't done that one yet.
Okay. Definitely. I mean, it's like TV Glow is very much a continuation of a lot of the same themes and like exploring a lot of the same spaces, but um World's Fair is a very different approach and
Okay.
very online, very screen based, very much like what we're doing right now. And I think it's one of the best of this kind of recent crop of on screen. And then I think I think I've talked to you about A Self-Induced Hallucination, which
I
is
don't think
also
so.
from Schoenbrunn. It's about Slender Man and that whole and the online cult of it, but it's all done through YouTube videos.
Okay.
Like it's just edited YouTube material. You can watch it on YouTube. Um, I might have sent you a link a while ago. If I haven't, I'll find it and send it to you again.
Okay.
But yeah, all of those are very much like I'm fascinated because I'm not deeply online and tapped into a lot. I'm fascinated by the evolution of some of these like online subcultures and where some of those places have gone. And yeah, their work is kind of working in all of that, along with like another very online thing of like liminal spaces, which I got obsessed with. There's a lot of that in TV Glow. So
Yeah.
when I just heard the log line for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, I was like, well, I'm very excited. And then the cast was announced. I don't know if you watch Hacks on HBO Max,
I haven't yet.
but
No.
Hannah Einbinder, who is the lead in this, uh, it's her and Jean Smart. And I don't know if you ever watched Broad City on Comedy Central. Same
Mm.
creative team as Broad City went on to do Hacks, which is
That's
a
the one where
great
she
show.
comes in to write for uh
For basically an aging,
an
kind of
aging.
a who would we compare her to? Oh my God, used to do the red carpet, Spaceballs. Come on,
Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers. Kind of a Joan Rivers type,
Okay.
like legendary female comedian. Maybe a little past her prime, who's basically like on the Vegas circuit, and or I think she has like a standing gig in Vegas, and she hires a young writer to basically kind of reinvent her career. It's been running for 4 seasons, going into its fifth and final. One of my favorite comedies. Really good shit. But anyways, so they announced the cast, and I'm like, well, I love Hannah Einbinder, who I basically discovered through Hacks, and then Gillian Anderson, who I was like, oh my God, that seems great. What I was not prepared for, because just the setup of like she's the, actress who's been a part of this horror franchise that's getting rebooted, and what I was not prepared for was the accent for basically her doing like Streetcar Named Desire, like all of a sudden. So I'm so on board for everything that seems to be taking place in this, but we've got a summer camp, we've got some Friday the 13th-esque looking kills, uh some very surreal imagery, and I'm just yeah, it's my most anticipated of the year. And then I will also say their debut novel comes out, I believe, the month after or the month before the movie.
Okay.
And I do not have its title in front of me, but I will get it shortly because I am hotly anticipating that as well.
Mm,
It is called Public Access Afterworld.
okay.
A mesmerizing, hold on, let me get you the log line for that. A mysterious realm on the other side of our screens, a dark force that draws victims into its static, the unlikely hero called to save them and herself from this electric hell. Public Access Afterworld is the profound binge all night head rush of a novel by the celebrated filmmaker I Saw the TV Glow. Blah, 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 blah. And then a couple pull quotes. Yeah, whatever. It is in, it's a spiritual sequel to TV Glow. All, all of this is kind of in the same oeuvre, but Sex and Death at Camp Miasma is I think one that was essentially like crowdsourced in as much as they were like, hey, I have a couple of like projects on the back burner for like what could be my next thing. Should I do the summer camp horror thing or this or that? And this is the one that everybody was like, yeah, you should do that. So this, I think, is
Yeah.
like stepping a little bit out of there, maybe a little, still seems like it's gonna very much lean into their Lynchian tendencies. And by that, I mean just doing their own fucking thing. Not
Yeah.
that they're aping Lynch's style, just that like they have established their own style.
Yeah.
And uh yeah, very committed to it. I can't wait. I'm very, very excited. Also, we've got a little more news on piggybacking on Gillian Anderson on the X-Files reboot, which I assume you're vaguely interested in. Are you a filesman? Are you a
Uh,
fileman?
uh, 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 wrong brother.
Wrong, brother. Okay, I figure. I was like, I know we've discussed, but maybe that's a Matthew only thing.
I mean,
Are you
I
willing to
appreciate, but
give the reboot a shot just because it's cooler?
yes.
And notably now, Daniel Deadweiler, I believe, is going to be the new Scully, which is
Okay.
very exciting. Who is in I Saw the TV Glow as the mom, who's married to Fred Durst. Yeah, yeah, the Fred Durst cameo. I don't know if that caught you off guard. Did
Well,
you also catch? I don't know if these were some of your guys. Did you? Are you familiar with the Adventures of Pete and Pete?
problem with Pete and Pete, a little too old.
Well, that's what I figured. Maybe, but I didn't know if it was like a little bit of like, dude, because I know some Gen Xers were like, they got it because the show's fucking, it's so good. And you got fucking Iggy Pop and like, there's so many cool cameos. And it was very, very Gen X coded, I feel like.
It is there, and there's a lot of weird spillover Nick Lodian shows at that time because
Mhm.
definitely Clarissa Explains It All,
Yeah.
but didn't
It didn't
Pete
go to
and
Super.
Pete.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Uh, uh, Hey Dude, yes.
Hmm.
Uh,
That's the
so
summer camp one, right?
no, that's the Dude Ranch one
Okay.
with David Lasher and somebody I had a huge crush on whose
That's
name I
like
can't remember.
Butt Kiss. Is that show with the kid from T2, the redhead?
No, that one Salute Your Shorts,
Salute your short. Oh, okay.
which is the summer camp one.
Okay. Gotcha.
In fact, they came on back to back.
That's why. Okay. That's why they're all just blurred in my brain. I just thought it was all one big show,
And then
apparently.
there was 15, which starred a young Ryan Reynolds.
I do
Uh,
not remember that at all.
it was on when I was 15, 16, 17. It was in the vein of Degrassi,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but a little more less real, more glossy, but combining glossy and real, so it just looked Canadian melodrama fake.
Gotcha.
But the Ryan Reynolds, like he was on it as a teenager.
Weird.
So that one, that's just a weird Gen X time, and then like older Gen Xers were nostalgia with Clarissa, whereas late Xers like me were like, okay, she's like a year younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So we were watching it like we were watching that and Saved by the Bell. Uh, but yeah, never got into Pete and Pete. Also never got in, and this was the one that was the late Xer, early millennials with Secret World of Alex Mack, because that and Pete were on at the same time.
That was a big, yep, that was a big one for me as well. Because of course she goes on to 10 Things I Hate. Yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You. She's the younger sister to
Yes.
Julia Stiles. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. But anyways, Pete and Pete make a cameo in I Saw the TV Glow.
Yes. They were the ones where I'm like, fuck, I know those guys.
Yeah, you're
Why do
like,
I know
who?
those
Why
guys?
are they lingering on a shot of these two random neighbors just staring at him? But yeah,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. I
And then the
again,
IMDb filled me in.
I I love that movie. I can't wait to go back to it again. I've I've been simultaneously itching to rewatch it, but also been trying to hold off on a rewatch to get closer to the release date
Right.
of Can't Be Asthma because I'm just like, you know, let's not make it that much more unbearable that it's like still months away. But I literally can't wait. The end of summer, I think it's like late August
I
or
think
like
it's in August. Yeah.
might be first week in August. But yeah, that is by far my most anticipated for the rest of the year. So very glad that we have it. And it's kind of one of those where I'm like, that first trailer, leave it. I don't need it. I was like, I don't want anything else. I don't
Yeah.
need any more imagery. I don't need any more dialogue. Don't show me anything else. I'm good. Just
Which
like
one's this?
Teenage Sex and Death that Can't Be Asthma. The same one we were
That's
discussing before you got off. The
the
follow
next
up
one
to
to
I Saw the TV Glow.
Solid TV Glow. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought I sent you the trailer, Brendan. Maybe check in your text.
Okay.
Scroll. It would have been like a couple weeks back, but I might just resend it to you real quick, just so you can watch it. But maybe mute yourself while you watch it if you want to check it out.
Yeah. Shoot it over to me real quick. I'll watch it for sure. This is what I told you after the first one, and I stand by this, and I'm going to reiterate what I said before I had to take a break there. The movie, I didn't love, but I enjoyed the ride. It was different, and it was definitely something that I would enjoy going on a ride again. If that makes any
That
sense at all.
that totally makes sense. I watched a crap ton of '90s independent movies that gave me the exact same feeling.
Hey, man, I'm not even sure what just happened, but I enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Brendan, mute yourself, watch that trailer, so you can give us feedback, and I think that's how we'll wrap the episode because I don't think Gab's gonna be able to make it on this evening.
I'm going to say, as late as it is, I don't think we're going to get a last minute gav.
Yeah, and it's getting close to my bedtime anyways.
And then
But I
last
will
month, I
oh
got
yeah,
there are
yeah.
two. I got there are two Friday the 13th back to back in February and March.
Oh shit.
So last month I did one and two on 4K,
Nice.
and then that was the day before Valentine's. So I did My Bloody Valentine and My Bloody Valentine.
Nice.
One of them I watch yearly. One of them I've watched twice. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
so what are you doing this Friday?
I think I'm gonna do 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Uh,
I might do 4 is Feldman, right?
yeah.
I might do 4. Um, that's the one I feel like I should give. I know that's like one of the fan favorites.
Yes.
I'm always trying to, I'm always trying to give a shit about Friday. It's hard, but I came around on Nightmare after years of like writing off most of those sequels, and now it's one of those like once I kind of get going with the franchise, it's pretty easy to just like, you know what? Let's just do all of these. Like last October when I rewatched the original Nightmare, it auto played into 2 and I was like, you know what? Before I knew it, I'm like, all right, I'm finishing up Dream Warrior later that night. And I'm like, all right,
Well,
this is a
for
good evening.
me, it worked in October because they just released the 4K set, so I got to watch them all and finally saw Freddy's Dead in with the 3D section,
Yeah, we talked about
which
that.
pissed me off about my Bloody Valentine 3D
Is it
because I
didn't?
was like, oh, it's color, it's the color lenses. I will use my Freddy glasses to watch this in 3D, uh, but it doesn't work because Bloody Valentine is pink green, not red blue.
Interesting.
Pink, green.
Yep.
That's like truly, truly old school. Okay, Brendan, you watched it?
Yeah,
You get the live react?
yeah, man. That looks like it's gonna be a dark, but in a fun way. If it's, if it's anything similar as the ride she takes you on in the first one,
I
with what I
okay,
just
maybe I
saw.
should be more explicit. When I'm saying follow up, I just mean like it is their next film. Not that it
Well,
is
I
a
guess what I'm
literal
saying, if
sequel
it's
to TV Glow, just to be clear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I'm saying if it's shot similarly with the darkness of what this looks like it could be, yeah, I'm not gonna miss that. That looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Or
Very, very excited.
I don't know if fun's gonna end up being the right word when we get done with it, but you know what I mean. It's
It
gonna
will
be a
be an
ride.
experience.
It's gonna be a
It
ride.
will
Yeah.
definitely be an experience. So at some
It,
point in the
even the trailer, dude. The trailer just I mean, obviously same, but like the way that it's shot, it's very distinct.
Mhm. They have a very particular style.
They do.
I think the only things that are really on my radar theatrically, at least for the rest of the month,
Hail
obviously, I
Mary.
think most of us will be checking out Project Hail Mary. Ready or Not 2, I gotta watch the first one. Never
Me
saw
too.
it,
I haven't watched the first one.
First
but
one was fun. It was fun. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it was run to the theater. It was great, but it was a good time.
well, the second one looks entertaining enough,
Yeah.
and I like the cast that I'm like, you know what? I'll go back
Well,
and catch up with that.
I think Patrick and I can agree that Margot Robbie's not fun to look at.
That is not Margot Robbie.
It's Samara
That is
Weaving.
Samara Weaving.
That's what I
You
said.
okay? Couldn't tell if you were trying to make the joke or if this is. I mean,
And I like Catherine Newton.
yes. Uh,
Catherine Newton is also
she has grown on me.
Yeah.
Uh, over the course of a couple movies.
the only person that's a question mark for me is this who's this Elijah Wood I
I'm
I don't know.
just
He looks
gonna
like
move.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm just gonna move
you know
right
what, he
past
does look like
this.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm just not even gonna engage with it. Uh, so the following week, on the 27th, a movie that's a little bit of a question mark for me. They Will Kill You with Zazie Beetz looks interesting. Uh, but that one's kind of a wait and see.
I'm intrigued for Undertone.
Well, yeah, same. I'm kind of like
I don't know if I want to spend money on it, but I'm
I
intrigued.
don't the A24 neon horror movie marketing, it's always wait and see at this point,
Yeah.
honestly. And I have heard most people who saw Undertone at a festival were like, guys, calm down. This is, and just some of the poll quotes you're seeing about it. The final 5 minutes is one of the scariest in the history of horror. And I'm just like, guys, don't like the trailers I thought were semi compelling. I'm definitely wait and see on this one. I'm almost, this is one I almost am like, I kind of just want to watch it at home with my over the ear headphones. If the whole concept is audio based, I'm like, yes, in a theater, like, yeah, it's gonna play a certain way. But I'm like, if the whole point is a character isolated, listening to something in their headphones, guess how I want to watch that movie? I want to
Yeah.
watch it at home in the dark, doing the same thing. So,
While
um,
listening to the In World podcast
you know,
beforehand.
what's up, Brendan?
Didn't even know you could do that.
Did you raise
I
your hand?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Oh, I don't
Um,
have it turned on.
the How do we feel about Disclosure Day? Anybody? Have we talked about that yet? No? Yay? Nay?
I mean, it's too
Fuck?
far off. That's the only reason I didn't bring it up. I
Mm.
was just trying to like keep us in March.
Yeah.
I get too excited,
Oh,
but
heard.
I can't fucking wait for Disclosure Day.
Yeah,
Normally, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. At
no,
some
I'm just
point,
stoked about it. That's all.
I am too. At some point, like Gavin and I usually do our most anticipated, like for the rest of the year, or sometimes we do like for the summer or for the fall. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if we'll do one of those. That's why I kind of been tagging these on the end of the occasional episode. But that same day as They Will Kill You, the Zazie Beetz one that I mentioned, Alpha, which is the next film from Julia Ducournau, who did Raw and Titan,
Oh,
which,
Raw was fantastic.
yeah, Alpha seems like it's going to be a bit of a departure. Still, I think in the body horror
Okay.
realm, but maybe a little more drama forward, a little less out there. But
Let's give us. Let me ask you this,
we'll
Noah.
see.
I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second here, okay?
What's up, bud?
You've got the rest of the year. You more than 99% of the world probably know, at least domestically, the movies that are coming out. If you could only go to theaters and see one movie, you can only go one time. What are you seeing in theaters the rest of the year?
I pretty much already said that, but the new Jane Schoenbrunn movie, the Teenage Sex, Death, and Can't Be Asthma. If I could only see one movie for the rest of the year based on what I've seen thus far, that would be it. Yeah, there's no like,
You you would sacrifice seeing Dune on TV versus that on in theaters.
yeah, I give up Dune, I'd give up The Odyssey.
The Odyssey, whatever. I mean, I don't say whatever. Like I think we're all in agree. Like I haven't heard
Yeah,
anybody
I'm
say
like,
that I
no,
can't wait.
there's nothing, there's no like slated thing currently right now that I'm more excited for.
Interesting, dude. Okay.
Personally, personally.
Patrick.
Let's see. The problem is I was disappointed by the main one. My main one, my most anticipated movie of the year, just fucking let me down.
All right, moving forward from that disappointment, you can only see one in theaters coming up the rest of the year.
Jeez. Uh, I really don't know because like I do it on a seasonal basis. I exist like the way Entertainment Weekly used to do it.
Okay.
So my winter it was taken up. I haven't looked into late spring summer movies yet, so I really don't know. Outside of the God, it's such a long title. Why is it a long title?
What?
The
Death at Camp
miasma movie.
Messiah.
Teenage Sex to Death, It Can't Be Asthma?
Yeah, well, that's too long for people my age.
I mean,
Like, just let me call it Camp Miasma.
you can call it that. You can call it whatever you want.
Camp Anawana.
That one was on my list because it made a long blurb on Fangoria's most anticipated horror movies of 2026.
Hmm.
So
I
that's
mean, that
one that
trailer
was
was
coming
gnarly.
up.
I'll say that.
Yeah,
But
I think it's gonna. not necessarily appease, but I think people who were burned by the fact that unfortunately TV Glow was sold as a horror movie to a lot of people, which I think uh, is not did it no favors in terms of its audience expectations. I think people who felt burned by that are not necessarily gonna come back to this, but I think a lot of those people would probably maybe enjoy this movie more. I think it is gonna lean more into uh, out and
No,
out
well,
horror, like and notably it is R rated, whereas TV Glow was PG-13.
Oh, dude, TV Glow
yeah,
was 13.
yeah,
Yeah, TV Glow is PG-13.
like,
Interesting, man.
uh,
With an R rating, I'm very curious what they can do. Hmm.
yeah.
I think no burying the lead here. Mine is definitely Dune. If you had asked me, I can only see one in theaters. It'd be Dune. The rest of the year. But I do also have a strong
That's my
feeling.
second answer, to be clear. I mean, I'm very excited for Dune Part 3.
The traitor. Anyways, if I had to say that, I think that by the end of the year, that the three of us aren't still saying that Bone Temple wasn't the best thing we saw all year, I'd be surprised.
Great movie.
I mean, so far it is the best thing that I have seen in theaters this year. Uh,
Though I guess Noah saw very high in Camp Anawana, so we'll see what happens after the end of that.
Well, and I will also say, I mean, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, 100% delivered.
Dude, so I looked at trailers afterwards and I was like, dang, man, I wish I would have gone with him to that over The Bride. Now, obviously, we didn't know The Bride was going to be what it was. So, but the trailers for Nirvana looked pretty fun.
It, yeah, great time at the movies. Hopefully it'll be, I know it's only really had like a pretty tiny run, but hopefully it'll be on streaming soon and more people, it'll catch a second wind.
Yeah.
It does a great job. Having seen it now, remember I was telling you, like, trying to give you a little background on the show, so to speak.
Mhm.
To me, it does a great job of like bringing the uninitiated into the fold, like, very quickly. But also, if you have like, pre-investment, maybe it hits a little bit harder, but I think it still does a great job of like giving you everything you need to know to like get invested and give a shit about like, whatever's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, dude, was it like see it twice good or was it?
Oh, I would definitely go again. I don't know
Dude,
how much longer it's at the
that's
terrace,
what I was gonna ask you. If
but
it's, I
yeah,
mean, if
no, I
it's
would.
here this weekend, I would go with you on maybe Saturday or Sunday. So,
Yeah, I could be down for that actually, if it's still playing for sure.
um,
And I was gonna say, I don't know, I don't know what else we would be seeing this
yep.
weekend.
Hail Mary's the next one I think that comes out that we both have interest in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, unless we do Undertone this week, I don't think there's another like major release this
I mean, I
weekend.
would do. One of my favorite movies and favorite movie going experience of all time was a movie that I didn't even know existed, didn't even know what the hell it was, and you were just like, "Hey, man, I'm going to see this."
Oh, the big release is Reminders of Him with our girl Micah Monroe, but it's a this is another Colleen Hoover adaptation.
The female version of Nicholas Sparks.
I I guess, but I think she's a little more hard-edged than Nicholas Sparks from what I gather. I haven't seen any
I
of
mean,
these
the
movies,
trailer
but that's
tells you
just
that
the
the wife guy dies in a car accident, like in the first 2 seconds of the trailer.
yeah. So yeah, that's the big release, but Undertone is the counter programming, so perhaps
Uh,
we'll check that out. But of course, it's Oscar weekend. I think everybody's focus, at least uh, for my money, that's what I'm actually very excited for the first time in a long time. I'm genuinely excited about the broadcast because nothing feels set in stone. Very few things feel like set in stone. There's still a lot of room for
dude,
surprise. Uh,
actually, now I'm thinking about it. Three movies that I can tell you that I liked all three of them. You didn't like one of them. I had nothing, no anything about. I went in blind, completely blind. Dee Dee, love Dee
yeah,
Dee. Dee Dee, everything, everywhere, all at once.
yeah.
Loved that. That was a stimulus. I actually think I saw that twice in theaters. One of the very few movies I've seen twice in theaters.
A very
Uh,
Brendan movie, for sure.
yeah, it's fair. Fair. And then good luck, don't die, have fun.
Good luck, have fun, don't die. One of these days you will get it correct. Uh,
Went in blind all three of those. Enjoyed all three of them. I do think I agree with you. Good luck, have fun, don't die was obviously no, not as in the same caliber of goodness as the others, but different movie too.
Very different movie. I think one that again will do okay on streaming when people get a second look at it. As a theatrical experience, I was left a little wanting on that one. Anyways, we'll wrap things up. I will remind our audience, we're and all of you guys, and hopefully Evan, if he's listening to this episode, again, sorry that he could not be more featured. Uh, we of course will be the next time you'll hear from us will be our post Oscar wrap up, where we will be revealing the winner of our Oscar pool, along with the winners of those Oscars.
Yeah, what are
And
we gonna do if I gotta get you my predictions in? But what are we gonna do if people tie?
oh, if we tied, then it'll we'll share the award essentially. It's never a tie has never happened before because it's usually just me and Gavin, so we'll address that when it comes to it. But the big prize is you get to like you basically get to program an episode. I put it out to our listeners, who never ever actually email anything in. But I said that was the thing where it's like if they wanted to play along too, from whoever wins the listener pool, even if it's one person that submits, they automatically win. But you get to program an episode, whatever you want it to be about. You can make us watch a TV show or a
Oh,
movie
I like
or
that. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
whatever. But yeah, you get to basically run the programming for a week on the show, but maybe we up it to like if there's multiple people, uh, you know, I don't know, maybe we do some sort of tiebreaker, or maybe we're going for like months of programming versus like individual episodes. I don't know.
And everybody has to go back, rewatch Troy, pick a character, and give me a diatribe on
I
why
love how
that's their
you're
favorite
deciding
character.
now, and I'm telling you now, there's no way you're gonna win. There's no like
I mean,
I will
there's a
be
chance. There's got to be a
there.
chance.
There's definitely a chance
It's
because this is the
greater than
wildest
zero.
year in a while, but yeah, I look forward to it. So I know Mayfield has already sent me his. Patrick has sent me his as well. So
You want it by
hopefully,
Saturday.
yeah. Just by, I mean, theoretically, as long as you send it before the broadcast starts at I believe 7 Eastern time, technically, I would know you're not cheating. But yeah, I'm saying Saturday because like I want to have the list in front of I'm gonna set up a bracket, I'm gonna set up an Excel spreadsheet so that as we're going through, I can know who's got what when, and it's not me tallying it up on the episode because nobody wants to hear that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow. With brackets and everything, it's you are my uncle's child.
I guess I am. This is all spinning off from Mayfield, honestly. I'm probably just gonna use his
It-
his formatting and
that-
just go from there. It'd be a lot easier. But yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this evening. For the Archivy Network, I have been Noah. I have been joined by my cousin, Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard, and my good friend, Mr. Brendan Riley. And you've been listening to what we've been watching. Feels really weird. Gavin's not here to do like a funky little outro, but it is what it is. Yeah, you got it. Brendan got it.